It was on July 10, 1856 in the Austrian Empire in a small village named Smiljan when Nikola Tesla was born during a stormy night. The child's mother Georgina and his father Milutin, an Orthodox priest, did not know that this little baby would change the whole world. At midnight between July 9th and 10, Tesla was born. Perhaps this is what suggested to the world from the very beginning that he was extraordinary. Since he was young, Nikola has always had a peculiar ability. While others played with their toys, little Nikola took clocks and mechanical things apart to see how they worked. It happened once that as he played with his pet cat known as Macaque, he noticed that there were slight sparks whenever he patted it on its back. This simple incident brought him into contact with electricity. Tesla had an incredible memory of images. In his mind's eye, Tesla could see all the pages in books as though they were before him. Again, another amazing capacity for work, but sometimes this gift caused him problems. For instance, if there were unpleasant images that came before his eyes, these haunted him even at night, leading to nightmares. His older brother, Dane, passed away in a horse-riding accident. This event brought Tesla to tears. Tesla was highly affected by this occasion and believed he had to make up for his elder brother and achieve great things. He went to university in Graz, Austria. It is there he showed what he was made of. Other students could barely make it through, but Tesla dreamed about things that had not been yet invented. One day in a physics class, Tesla's professor was talking about direct current motors. Tesla, always with a questioning mind, interrupted the class and said, "Professor, I apologize for interrupting, but these motors have a fundamental problem. The sparking of commutators causes energy loss. I think it's possible to create an alternating current motor that doesn't have this issue and is much more efficient." Everyone, including the professor, looked at him with surprise, and some even laughed. But Tesla knew he was right and decided to work on this idea. Tesla worked for a while at the Central Telegraph Office in Budapest, Hungary. After university, it was there that he came up with the idea of an AC induction motor. He recited a poem one day in the park and suddenly understood that he could use a rotating magnetic field to make an electric motor. He was thrilled and excited at that moment, so he took a stick and drew the design of this motor on the sand of the park. In 1884, Tesla decided to go to America, where he believed his dreams would be pursued. When he reached New York, all he had was 4 cents in his pocket and a letter of introduction for work with Thomas Edison. The early days were very tough. At some point in time, Tesla even had to fill potholes on the streets as part of his work. Nonetheless, he never stopped dreaming. When they first met, Tesla impressed Edison with his intelligence, and he offered him a job. After accepting the offer, Tesla began to work on improving Edison's DC motors. In response, he told the prospective employee that, "If you can make my motors better, I will give you $50,000. So Tesla agreed and worked day and night without rest for months. Tesla also managed to improve commutators within a short period of time, which in turn reduced sparking and energy loss. This improvement made the motors much safer as well as more efficient. When he went to Edison to collect his reward, Edison laughed at him, saying, "Tesla, you don't get American humor yet? That was just a joke." It was this incident that caused him to leave Edison and start his own company. The beginning days were not easy at all, though. Nobody was willing to invest in his AC system, though, until he met George Westinghouse, who was himself an inventor, but saw the potential of Tesla's AC system enough for Westinghouse to invest in it. Another moment when the war of currents began. Tesla got his first big chance when it was decided that the 1893 World Fair would be held in Chicago. The organizers were trying very hard to find a way to illuminate the entire fair cheaply, and at this point Tesla proposed that they should do it using AC system together with Westinghouse. As the switch flipped on the opening night and hundreds of lights came on almost simultaneously, everyone was struck dumb except for one who said, "Gentlemen, we've got light." This is one of those moments which will go down as turning point events in electrical history. Tesla always thought that Niagara Falls was an incredible source of energy that was going to waste and no one was using. After these triumphs, Tesla would win the contract to build Niagara Falls Power Station. This project was the first major hydroelectric plant in the world and proved that the AC system could transmit electricity over long distances, making the DC system useless. Edison, afraid for Tesla's achievements, initiated a negative campaign against the AC system. He even killed animals with AC electricity to demonstrate how dangerous it could get. Once upon a time, there was an elephant called Topsy that was killed by AC, and it was captured on film. Edison took advantage of this situation and incorporated the footage into his promotional campaign. He employed every trick he knew to demonstrate that Tesla's system was no good while his own worked fine. However, Tesla did not just contemplate on matters electrical. He dabbled in many fields. The radio is among his most significant yet unrecognized inventions. In 1893, Tesla demonstrated wireless radio transmission 2 years ahead of Marconi, who later claimed to have invented it. The story of radio is one of the saddest angles of Tesla's life. He had patented many technologies related to radio, including patent number 645576, which had to do with wireless transmission of electrical energy. However, when Marconi sent the first transatlantic radio signal in 1901, he was acknowledged as the inventor of the radio by all people. Tesla attempted to vindicate his rights, but judicially favored Marconi. Interesting enough, some of Tesla's patents were used by Marconi in building his device. According to Tesla, the inventor made a comment that Marconi is a good fellow. Let him continue. He is using 17 of my patents. Tesla was upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court in 1943, who ruled that Marconi's patents were void since they had been patented earlier on by Tesla. It is regrettable that this ruling came when Tesla was already dead. One of Tesla's strangest and most ambitious projects was the Wardenclyffe Tower, which he believed would revolutionize communications as well as energy transmission. It will transmit power all over the world without any wires. He even claimed that he could use this tower to communicate with extraterrestrial beings. The construction work on the tower was started in 1901. All his money and energy were invested into it by Tesla. Unfortunately, however, investors began distancing themselves from him for thinking that he was too idealistic about what he thought about. In the end, the project remained undone, which struck Tesla hard. One of Tesla's final and most controversial projects was the development of a powerful weapon that he called Death Ray. He assured that this weapon could easily bring down airplanes from miles away or destroy whole armies. Tesla claimed that it was so powerful that it could put an end to wars and establish world peace. Even though he never actually built this weapon, his idea did inspire many developments in the area of direct energy weaponry. However, despite all these inventions and revolutionary ideas, which are still used today, Tesla's life was not as glamorous as it would be expected to be. In his last days, poverty and loneliness came on to him. Gradually going into isolation from society, Tesla eventually lived in a small room in New Yorker hotel where he spent much time with pigeons, but one white pigeon was especially dear to him. According to him, this pigeon became his muse. In fact, once he even said, "I loved that pigeon as a man loves a woman." Tesla would often say he had dreams about his ideas in his sleep. He slept just 2 or 3 hours every night and claimed to see all the details of his inventions during this short sleep period. When he arose each morning, he could remember the whole thing with perfect clarity and then set off to build them. This exceptional ability enabled him to bring his ideas into existence quickly. There were also strange habits that made people think Tesla was crazy, one of which was cleanliness obsession. He would need 18 napkins beside him whenever eating anything. He would encircle a building thrice before entering it. His hotel room number had to be divisible by 3. Therefore, those behaviors appeared odd, but Tesla believed that this helped him concentrate on idea generation as well as novelty inserting. Tesla particularly paid attention to the numbers 3, 6, and 9 because they seemed to have some special connection in natural and physical systems. He prophesied many things we use today. Take, for instance, his talk about mobile phones. When wireless is perfectly applied, the whole Earth will be converted into a huge brain, which in fact it is, all things being particles of a real and rhythmic whole. We shall be able to communicate with one another instantly, irrespective of distance. Not only this, but through television and telephony we shall see and hear one another as perfectly as though we were face to face, despite intervening distances of thousands of miles, and the instruments through which we shall be able to do his will be amazingly simple compared with our present telephone. A man will be able to carry one in his vest pocket. This prediction is exactly what we have today with smartphones and the internet. He had ideas involving electric vehicles and vertical takeoff planes. He even came up with a design that looked like today's helicopters. Yes, there was an impression among many people that Tesla was mad since most of his ideas seemed not possible at the time. One of the less known things about Tesla's life was his perception of women as well as women's rights. Unlike other men in his generation, he advocated for their voting rights and education opportunities. His observation was, "I do believe that ultimately women will be able to demonstrate her superiority over man." This outlook is progressive in nature and shows that Tesla anticipated the future both in scientific terms and everyday concerns of society beyond this. Tesla spent his last years in loneliness and poverty despite all these accomplishments and revolutionary thoughts. He never got married and claimed that love affairs hindered the process of his scientific works. Tesla died one evening when he was 86 years old on January 1943 in his hotel room. It took several days for anybody to realize that he had passed away alone like this. FBI came after Tesla's death to take away all his files and notes because some people still believe that those were the documents about secret weapons or advanced technologies. Actually, Tesla had many ideas which are ahead even of our time as well as yet not realized. Maybe if only Tesla were able to do business like Edison did and people treated him more seriously, what we see today would be much more advanced than it is. Which is your favorite quote or idea from Tesla? I will write mine in the comments so you can write yours as well.